Good morning, folks. It's 8:29 a.m. here in Liverpool, England, on the 10th month, third day, 2025. What we're looking at here is some of the wind gusts to be expected across the South Island of New Zealand over the next 10-day period. Really, this is all coming in two batches, right? The first batch will be ending about the 7th, and then I'm carrying a second event from there because it looks like two different masses of air are going to be influencing you. So I'm going to go over some of that. Very, very heavy rain totals are expected during from these two events. Yeah, I'd hate to be the bearing of that news, but somebody's got to tell you. Since your BOM won't do its job, because or your Met services, yeah. Well, what needs are they meeting of our oppressors is what I want to know. They met them. I'll tell you this. But we're looking at close to a half a meter of rain coming over here to this area here of New Zealand, where the sticky up bits will be taking the brunt of the condensates as it comes across the Tasman Sea. He's going to lead to terrible totals through Arthur's Pass, and the winds there are also going to become a factor. And as I move this out to the rest of the period, you'll see this has just been a never-ending story of winter rain coming again. Hey, so we'll go over that. Tassie, you're not out of the woods yet. Yours is coming fair quicker than New Zealand's, right? Half and half. You noticing a pattern here? Well, I am. And so at least I can show you a day with nothing. Yeah, that's happy to see. We got a lot of fires raging around, which I'm not going to particularly cover today. Not particularly. It's just something I noticed about a few of them that I want to. I'm trying to get rid of this fires layer in here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's just a distraction because when you zoom in on it, it's not showing the grids that the other sites show. As you lose detail as you move in. I'm concerned for the Yupun Peninsula right now because they got some burdens going on there near the highways, in the bywater area. Maybe they're coming for the water. I don't know. I know I seen a map on there that it looked like the eastern side of the highway, the Bruce that goes up there. They want it. Yeah, so if you got land on that side of the Bruce, you might want to have a look. You see if you're in the planning maps of the master plan for your area, because that's what it's called, the master plan. Yeah, where have I heard that phrase before? Oh well, I'll continue that. So I'm going to roll the forecast part because this is what people was asking me. Oh, when's it coming? Wherever. It's just a big, long, wet period, but there's going to be two big smacks, and they're getting one of them right now. So let's let this run. Get the bottom corner on. And learn the shape of your country on a map. Don't ever expect me to tell you your town's weather. I don't get. It's too much to remember, right? You come on and learn where you live. I'm just giving you a heads up to be vigilant, right? Because Windy will lie to you. They will. I have to do a lot of looking at actual clouds to determine which one's going to be accurate. And a lot of times neither of these ECMA for GFS, ICON, or Access are accurate. And those are the anagrams for the various radar feeds that you will see Windy use. Our oppressors bought into the weather services. They had cooked the books a long time ago. Hey, if I was selling electric cars, wouldn't I want all the petrol cars gone? And wouldn't the storms do that? Everybody has said, why? Well, first you follow the money. And when you follow the money, you very often see it walking hand in hand with something called the science, which is never a settled thing. Science is always to be challenged. That's the nature of it. A big batch is going to influence the mountain areas of ice coming in, but it should cut off around New South Wales because there's a lot of EMF over there. It's going to dissipate everything as that goes across. Now here's batch 2 coming on the 6th, and boy is this bringing a wallop of water with it. And by the end of this first batch coming through right there, you've had 100 mils of rain. So the rest is coming in the next batch, so keep watching. And I could show you that now if you want. Why not? That proves my point. It's not going to be just a quick event. It's a rainy season that you're undergoing, and some of the totals to be expected through the 7th into the early hours of the 8th are, like I just said, in the 10 centimeter range, 100 mils. And then after that you get this, and this one here is packing a wallop of wind. So I'll put the pressures on for this one so you can start to see As the isobars get closer together, you know you got a big low pulling something. Right, so I'm going to zoom back a bit for this. So you can see the pressures going across this other motion. It's very important. When I see a dip down like this, I know there's a very low pressure down here somewhere. And 96.7 is not super low, 7.8. I'm trying to see who's running the show. Where is all the pressure is going to be leaning. So far it's this. So that's going to have a drag on this storm as high flows towards low. You look, a burp up, that's going to take a beam to do, so we'll be looking for that beam. Or a ship doing it, and something's going to deploy some EMF. So back to you guys. As the pressure here coming from us over the next few days, it clobbers your ass. And it is. It's going to be a good clobber. See that wind tree mix down there about halfway through the South Island? Yeah, so watch your travels. That's all I can say to you. Watch your travels. So I'm going to let this move along. I'll load my phone up here so I can maybe see some comments and even see if I'm live. Yes, I hear sound too. That's a good sound. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get with this so I can read your comments now. And good day to you, Borrow, as well. Maybe it's the only comment that I see. And if I see a question, I might be able to answer it. I have to be able to see it. So I actually have to load a phone. The screen I'm sharing is the only one I see. Yeah, I don't actually see the comments. Somebody asked me why I didn't answer comments live. Because I can't see them. And I'm looking at a screen and I'm moving it around. So let's get to the 7th. This is just a really big batch is coming through. You'd be thinking you're out of the woods when you ain't. You'll have various walls to be able to resupply. But if I was you, I would just be prepared all the time for unannounced inundations by the geoengineers. Because you never know when they're coming, right? You should always have some supplies ready. So here's coming batch 2. I'm going to zoom back. Boys, this one going to get windy, and it's bringing a whole lot of smoke and stuff as well from over in the fires. You'll be actually seeing some of that smoke, I imagine, by Saturday, the 4th. And the sunsets going over the Tasman Sea will be quite dramatic. Deep reds and stuff. I'm expecting this. Actually expecting it because of all the smoke coming over. And I'll show you that on satellite, which isn't going to add to the healthiness of your air. When you get cam and smoke together, it's a lot of oxygen depletion as well going on. So your energy levels, I'm expecting to make you quite lethargic over the next week between the cam and the smoke and the EMF itself. And I hate to say it, but expect those totals to rise. And because you got this coming, this over here is going to have quite the dynamics. It's that will burp off when it comes back up. It's going to leave a bit of energy behind as an eddy, which is going to help this move along. Not good at all. And it's leading to terrible, terrible totals. Let's see, I think you hear some action coming up into the mountains and through Melbourne and all that, so I'm going to run that now. Let's get Tassie on the screen. Yeah, for all you people going down here that can't bear it. Yep. Watch. The winds ain't going to be a huge factor yet. There will be some gusts coming along, but really the main winds and gusts are going to be out west of you going on over the next 3 days. Perth looked like a freaking gas chamber today. There's so many pellets of crap in the air, I assume that's what that is. If it's falling through the atmosphere and continuing to make a cloud, either that's the superest longest lasting flare giving off chemicals, or they figured out another method. Hey, something super cold will make a cloud around itself as you fall, right? You ever throw dry ice in a swimming pool? What happens? Bubbles up clouds, don't it? It's just natural condensation effects. Ooh, look at this. Now that's the batch I was concerned about coming through the afternoon hours of Sunday, Melbourne time. And it's going to be a smackaroo. I'm surprised it hasn't spit a low inland. If the radars would be turned off above it, these stations up here, they seem to be on pretty hard over the last week. And that storm would have burped a low over the center. And probably wet down the areas that they're trying to burn. Yep. I think it's better to fade away than to be burnt out, that's for sure. And so we're going to watch this climb up the coast, but you really can't get much past Coffs because of the EMF. I'm not seeing any big totals coming for Brisbane or any of that over the next week, which is a great relief for my friends over there. However, you got to be vigilant for fires. Very, very vigilant for the fires, as I show you. Squanto, mate, Squanto. Yeah, my friend Addie asked me. And a bit of relief for some of your gardens coming, but it's nothing huge that I'm concerned about. But I'll keep an eye on things because the geoengineers will lie about totals. That's a fair, decent rainstorm coming. But it's nothing like the super floods or anything, so I ain't worried about none of that. Your gardens need some water too, don't they? Yeah, the biggest totals coming over the next few days on Oz itself is over in this area here in Justin Bay and at north. As Geraldton's radar has pinned the flow to come in this direction here. I don't have that data currently pulled up, but it's easy to find. I'll actually run it and see if we see any tickles coming from it. I have they turned the radar itself off. That radar's on right there, did you see? To make that heated flows. That one's on, that one's on. See the triangle's pointing right towards, so the next red would be right here on this road, or wherever I'm zoomed in on. And it's going to show the location finally. See, it's over here. You have a radar. That's obvious. See, near a wall. Oh. How the hell am I going to pronounce that? Near Waterloo. You see the same type spiky beam, and you got the same thing going on down here. There's a radar is going to be right over here in this area. And if you live here, you'll probably know about that device. It looks like a big golf ball on a tee. Yeah, so they've been frying everything and holding all these totals to bring them across in this direction here. The radar has you pretty well pinned. So any flow coming through here is going to hit this wall of energy. It'll kind of be driven through these gaps that were left. You see how they channel the winds here? Let me zoom out a bit and get you a bigger picture of this. So the radars are going to really decide the paths of least resistance. The storms are going to want to flow through. You can see the gaps they left. The wind is compressed here, right as it comes into here. The wind velocity will increase when it's down here because it channels it all in. Then it's let out here, and then it's sudden alpha or low pressure forms locally, and it'll move that right along. It looks like they're curving it that way because the same thing's going to happen here. You see that effect? That's just basics of pressure and flow. And so it's really all pinned to come along this corner here. Things coming in, hit a wall resistance, and move down, move across. That one I haven't seen on yet near Lake Grace, so we'll be looking to see what Esperance does over the next few days, because that's important to know. We don't have a whole lot of data for you here in New Zealand. It's because they only give you a little bit. It takes that. What is this beam shooting out here off the coast? There has to be a ship that does that. Because that's the only way that occurs. If a glitch is making effect on a cloud, then a glitch excuse is a lie. And well, if you're paying liars to give you the weather, you get what you deserve. See how that don't move 43 minutes? It gives you one image an hour. It's pitiful. It's like you didn't fund weather at all. Or if you are paying for radar images, it would be nice if they gave them to you. Yeah, in New Zealand. But wait, when there are oppressors out there trying to oppress, lies are the standard. Look at this chemtrails here going between Tassie and the mainland over here. A lot of chem over the bastard strait here. Chemtrail there, chemtrail there, chemtrail there. It's horrendous. Yep. Chemtrails are terrible, terrible, terrible things. And they fall out, they toxify the land, they burn your gardens, they burn our lungs, and they're burning my patience with the lies that I hear from people. Thunderstorm asthma, my ass. These chemicals in your sky are falling out and you're breathing. So I'll be expecting Perth to get a thunderstorm asthma warning from this toxic air that is over the top of them and the constant lies coming from the system. Evenly spaced plumes here. Get your rulers out. Get your rulers out. It's kind of like looking at this fire here in an arc. See it? This ain't natural to be able to do such a perfect arc of fires as I'm seeing here. And like I said, I don't really have the data. Hey, Worldview is still running, by the way, but they haven't put your fire data up for Rise today. They have it for yesterday for those areas. I'm watching them burning out the Bywater area and stuff over here in the Poontang. But if I'm coming zooming in on you guys up here, see, boo, look at that. It's just absolutely, man, this ain't natural. You think nature going to do perfect squares on your ass? Maybe once in a while, but not as often as we're seeing it. And This is the nighttime burn. As you can see, it's not as dramatic as the daytime one. And I take some of the lines off from the nighttime burn. You can see the symmetry of these fires. And I'm going along a master plan map that was burning along this side of this road here. And that's some beautiful areas. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful areas. One of my favorite places I've ever been in my life. And so I do care a lot about things like that. You know, when I look back here, I wasn't seeing the same fires that I saw the other day, but I still see this in Cape Palmerston National Park. I mean, the odds of being able to burn these exact distances side by side here is impossible naturally. It's impossible. Not all the time. And so tomorrow we'll have some more images of those fires, and we did have some horrenduses. And this is just the daytime burn. If I put the nighttime on it, looks a lot more pell-mell. But you'll be expecting pell-mell when embers are in the wind. When you see this distance here repeated, you see that one repeated, you see certain angles like that repeated over and over and over again. These trapezoids here, like I'm circling around. And you'll know you're being owned. And it's not always a jet plane that can do these things. There's plenty of devices, like the Terminator flamethrower dog. It's a robot. You think that ain't a possibility? Come on, look at the repeat of this triangle here. It's, man is doing this. Man is burning you out. Even this is isosceles here involving that, and that. It's the same as that, and that. Fit them together, you'll have a rectangle on that one. It's just geometry and noticing things with my eyes. It has been horrible, horrible. The smoke that's coming across the sea, and it's going to toxify the lungs in New Zealand. And that was the one over the nature refuge over here. Was it Brovina? Fern Tree National Refuge. Well, even the trees can't just run and find refuge. How come these distances here are the same from each other? It's impossible. I know you're going to have some controlled burns going on, but when your controllers are burning you instead, it's absolutely disgusting. I was very surprised to see Next in Worldview had anything up at all updated today. Hey, so while I still have it, I'll use it. And you see the toxic air here over the top of this. But one of the more populated places on the west coast of Australia, between here and Darwin. I don't know which one has more, to be honest. I just know this is one of your major population centers being impacted to sell product, to sell a vaccine or a cure of some kind, or glean some funding, or to force this climate lockdown bullshit lies that are coming in people's head as these automatic digital IDs are added to people's phone, the apps. Yes, I woke up to one. Yep, the UK one. You can't get a job nowadays without proven it already anyhow. It's not even law, but they've incentivized corporations that own certain businesses to require such things. It's been incentivized. Yeah, you call it bribery, so would I. It's not extortion, but it's the opposite. But in a way it is. Yeah, I'm going to stick with fighting for the air the most. If I can get one thing to stop, it would be this. Because the whale don't give a shit about digital ID. They don't give a shit about our vaccine program. And the damn sure gives a shit about the fallout in the sky. I'm looking at the smoke that's headed towards New Zealand. It should be gathered into this mass and circulated right down like in that direction over the country. So bear warning about you got some toxic air about. I can pick up a shot of it in motion here. Across your ocean. The motion of the ocean. But that's some of the smoke there. Right? It's very, very thick. Fires, they set you to burn. In a perfect arc. If I had a protractor or a compass, you see that they're all aimed towards something. There's something in common here. Do they want a road from Brisbane all the way over to Charleville? Because that's what that looks like. What a shame. These fires. It's very sad. So we'll have more data on those in the next day to be expected. But yeah, the winds are also going to be a big factor in a couple of these storms. It's like I go look at the 8th and 9th. It's the gusts. Watch this batch comes in here. Is it the one on the 6th? Yeah, right in there. Yeah, that's just a concern. And that's going to create a lot of gusts as that tries to get to the other side of your island here to get with this pressure, right? And it's being blocked by all those beams that I outlined today on that graphic that I put up, showing you've got a ship out here. Whoa, where did I end up in the United States? I was off the coast of Mexico. Ole. Yeah, I'll show you to it in an accumulated wind, because that'll give you an indication of where you're going to have some problems of winds. You see that out west? There's not much today. If I can grab a hold of it. Okay, so, but New Zealand, I'm very concerned about you. Had some of these winds even up through this week, coming this high, it's getting near 100. It's the never-ending story. Okay? From the land of hopeless glory. Yeah, I don't know any other way to do it. You're going to be your own hope, ain't you? So expect a bunch of dust storms and stuff out here in the desert. I'm not seeing a bunch of big rains, Roxby Downs and all that. You're going to be getting some very, very windy conditions. So watch yourself if you're going along these roads out this way. Yes, two ladies in a van. Let me know your path and I'll keep an eye on your weather for you. Yeah, but this is bad. We're putting your tarps up and stuff like that. And campers might want to know about that. They might want to know over here how to bring your cans in and stuff so you don't have stuff blowing around your yard, because you're going to be having it. And yours was sooner. It was the batch through here. Let's see if we can nail the exact days of your biggest winds. They just changed the graph. Yeah, it looks like that batch on the 8th that's coming over is going to be really quite a wallop of wind. So use great care when you're choosing your paths of travel and where you want to entertain yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. Yeah, I don't want to have a big lengthy show, right? That should be sufficient for you. You've been chemmed all to hell, right? See, off the coast of New Zealand, these chemtrail clouds. See all the EMF here off the Kiwi beak out here? It's like it's doing a line. I had a good old days. It looks like smoke. That to me, from a fire. Here's our world, man. Here's what we're doing to it. This is our last family picture. And it's an absolute, we need to comb our hair and wash our clothes, because this is a dirty, dirty mess. Dirty, dirty mess. And as we get the remains of a geostorm from the U.S. that they've renamed and called Amy, and here's Shamey Amy now, with the big scalar square in the center, all these funkatized colored clouds. You would have thought that was EMF, but that's really chemtrails. Yep. And we're getting ready to cop it. Look at these poor folks over here in Normandy and over here in Holland, Antwerp and all that. They got absolutely toxified over to Hague. Let me get rid of some of the road map here, so you can see the extent of just how bad it is. Yeah, it's just horrible, horrible chem over Europe to affect their weather. And believe me, that's going to lead to some decent totals for us. Hey, so I might as well zip over here and show you. They say Liverpool's going to carp through storm, but I don't see it. I don't see how. Unless they pin it coming up the Irish Sea. But really, mostly it's for Scotland, Norway, and it. Yeah, it looks like they was moving something through Europe. Okay, so they got some big totals, flash floods to be expected for their early spring tides, and that's just this week. Not much change after that. I believe theirs is coming over the next few days. But when you see chem like this that was deployed on the 2nd, let me find it. You know it was getting ready to rain, because they brought all the storm seasonings in. Look at all the energization here so this hot air can flow toward the west. That's just some fires I still got up there. Those red dots. In the Bay of Biscay, yeah, it's a crime scene. Will they be selling thunderstorm asthma worldwide? Will this earth wake up and gain its common sense? I do not know the answer to that. All I know is I gave you the info. I love you guys. Stay safe. Peace.